Today we're talking about the co-op games of 1988. Let's see what else was happening in the world of gaming. 1988 showcased a number of sequels for well-known franchises: Mega Man 2, Mario 3, Dragon Quest 3, Final Fantasy 2. We also saw Blaster Master, Splatterhouse, Vigilante, Snatcher on the PC-88. The Sega Mega Drive came out in Japan, and Nintendo bought the rights to Bandai's Family Trainer and re-released it as the Power Pad. Now let's jump into the co-op games. Bad Dudes, originally known as Bad Dudes vs. Dragon Ninja in the arcades, is a side-scrolling beat-em-up platformer. In an era saturated with two-player scrolling fighters, Data East's offering stood out with its memorable premise and action-packed gameplay. Tasked with rescuing President Ronnie from the clutches of the Dragon Ninja Gang, players assume the roles of Blade and Striker, two muscle-bound heroes with an affinity for battling hordes of ninjas. With fast-paced action and simple yet satisfying controls, Bad Dudes offers a brief but enjoyable arcade experience. Altered Beast, the iconic Sega Genesis pack-in title, originally sprang to life as an exhilarating arcade experience. Altered Beast thrusts players into a tale of rescuing a magician's kidnapped daughter from a menacing bald sorcerer as you battle through 5 dynamically scrolling stages, teeming with zombies, monstrous creatures, and more. The game's premise may seem somewhat simple, but it provides ample justification for unleashing a flurry of punches and kicks. The game's unique mechanic involves defeating white two-headed wolves to gain floating power-ups, progressively transforming you from an athlete to a hulking beast. Each stage introduces a distinct creature to become after collecting 3 power-ups, each with its own set of devastating attacks, making short work of the level's adversaries. And at the end of each level, you fight a boss. Altered Beast might be a little bit slower paced compared to later beat-em-ups, but for the time, it was a pretty good game. In 1987, Double Dragon was released in arcades. This led to numerous home console versions. One of the best home console versions was on the Sega Master System. Playing as either Billy or Jimmy, your mission is to rescue Jimmy's girlfriend from the clutches of the Black Warriors gang. It has all the same arcade action, but unlike the NES version, this one actually includes 2-player co-op, and that's why I think this is the superior port. And I think this is one of the best co-op games on the Sega Master System. While the graphics impress with shaded sprites and detailed backgrounds, the music and sound effects leave room for improvement. The controls, especially the jump kick maneuver, can be frustrating at times. Despite its difficulty, Double Dragon offers replay value for those willing to master its levels and enemies. In the same year, Double Dragon 2 was released on the NES, and this is a huge improvement over the original Double Dragon, in my opinion. The graphics are more colorful, the move set is incredibly impressive for that 2-button controller on the NES. And the controls, although might take some getting used to, they're actually pretty intuitive, as A always hits to the right and B always hits to the left, so it's easy to attack enemies from any direction. The one downside of this game is the platforming sections. They just don't work very well. But that being said, this is actually one of the best co-op games on the NES, and one of the best 8-bit beat-em-ups of all time. A-Dies on the NES. It might seem like a Castlevania clone at first glance, but it's a game with its own unique charm and gameplay elements. Set in a post-apocalyptic world, you play as Orin, a falconer and fencer, on a quest to collect the 8 Eyes jewels to restore order to the world. The graphics are detailed with diverse enemy designs and atmospheric stages. The controls take some getting used to, with an emphasis on timing and strategy. Orin's falcon adds depth to the gameplay, allowing for a second player to take control of him. And again, the controls are a little bit odd here, but once you get the hang of it, this falcon can actually be pretty helpful. He can hit switches and he can attack enemies. This is really one of the first examples I've ever seen of an assist mode for a co-op game. I think the 8 Eyes doesn't get the respect that it deserves. It's much better than its reputation. Dark Chambers on the Atari 7800 is a hidden gem that emerged from the inspiration of arcade classics like Gauntlet and the obscure Dandy, offering a compelling dungeon-crawling adventure for the Atari 2600 and the 7800 consoles. The 7800 version is a huge step up graphically, but the 2600 version has all of the gameplay intact, and it's pretty impressive for that hardware. While lacking the 4-player mayhem of Gauntlet, It compensates with excellent play control and challenging gameplay. You'll delve into a maze of 26 stages, battling an eclectic mix of foes, including Reapers, Wraiths, Skeletons, and evil clerics. Power-ups like the dagger, shield, handgun, and wick bomb add strategic depth, making your journey more manageable. Dark Chambers may not boast memorable audio, but its addictive gameplay and rewarding difficulty make it a must-play, especially for Gauntlet fans and aficionados of the challenging action RPGs. 1988 was the year that Contra was finally released on the NES, and in my opinion, this is a superior port to the original arcade version. This classic side-scrolling shooter is a quintessential example of its genre, offering relentless mayhem and challenging gameplay. As you traverse through a variety of environments from lush jungles to eerie alien bases, Contra keeps the action fresh with occasional perspective shifts. While some enemy encounters may seem simplistic due to NES limitations, the boss battles demand strategic thinking and quick reflexes. The diverse weapon arsenal, including the iconic spread gun, adds excitement to the mix. Contra is still considered to be one of the best co-op games on the NES, and just one of the all-time classics. Bobble is a timeless classic that not only offers delightful gameplay, but also has a reputation for uniting couples. The NES version is a very faithful port to the original arcade. The only compromise really is just the visuals. Gameplay is all intact. You play as Bub and Bob, you blow bubbles, you knock the enemies over, you collect fruit and stuff. Bobble is another NES co-op classic. Silkworm came out in the arcades in 1988 and delivers a surprisingly enjoyable gaming experience, with its dual vehicle mechanics offering players the choice between a Jeep and a helicopter, each with its unique playstyle. The helicopter provides freedom of movement and relative ease, while the Jeep presents a challenging ground-based approach. But combining the two in co-op gameplay is where the game truly shines, as you're able to work together and assist where each vehicle has its weak spots. While not excessively difficult, the game ramps up the challenge towards the climax, and the emblems become crucial. Silkworm may not reinvent the genre, but it offers solid action and an engaging multiplayer experience. Cabal is another NES port that came from the arcades, and it's a really solid port. While today's gaming landscape may be saturated with military titles, Cabal's unique take on the genre shines with its third-person shooting mechanics, akin to classics like Nom 1975 and Wild Guns, but this is the game that started it all. In fact, a whole genre exists called Cabal shooters. The NES adaptation successfully translates the arcade experience, condensing controls into 2 buttons, albeit somewhat clumsily, but quickly becoming intuitive. The game's core simplicity, where you fill an enemy meter through destruction, provides an addictive challenge. Each level's distinct environment and enemy types keep gameplay engaging, with moments ranging from tactical precision to chaotic dodging. Cabal on the NES is definitely a worthwhile co-op gem, offering action-packed nostalgia for fans of arcade shooters. Wai Wai World on the Famicom is an intriguing crossover game from Konami. It brings together a diverse cast of characters, including iconic ones like Simon Belmont and Goemon. Set on a mission to rescue fellow heroes, you embark on non-linear stages that capture the essence of their respective games. Each character possesses unique abilities and weaponry, creating a dynamic gameplay experience. While it's not Konami's easiest or most entertaining title, the nostalgia it evokes and the charm of its character roster make it worth exploring for fans of classic gaming. Forgotten Worlds, released by Capcom in 1988 in the arcades, offers a unique arcade gaming experience that breaks away from the norm. Set in a post-apocalyptic world dominated by alien deities, you step into the shoes of 2 warriors, Unknown Soldier Blue and Unknown Soldier Red. What sets this game apart is its blend of science fiction and fantasy, creating a visually stunning backdrop of ruined cities and awe-inspiring landscapes. The bosses you face are a diverse array of deities, from technological monstrosities to mythical creatures like dragons and even Egyptian gods. The game's unique rotary knob control adds depth to the gameplay, allowing you to spin your character and satellite, providing a strategic edge in the face of relentless hordes. Forgotten Worlds is a subversive gem from Capcom's golden era, offering god-slaying action and memorable boss battles that make it stand out among arcade classics. Gain Ground defies the arcade gaming norms of its time, offering a refreshingly unique experience amidst the sea of derivative titles. Sega's Gain Ground takes players on an intriguing journey through the different time periods, with an eclectic cast of characters, from commandos to knights and robots, all battling to stop a rebellious supercomputer. This isn't your typical shooter, it's more of an algorithm action game, characterized by deliberate pacing and a maze-like approach. The initial impression might leave you puzzled, due to the slow-moving characters and challenging weaponry, but therein lies the game's brilliance. Gain Ground's puzzle aspect emerges as you study enemy patterns, learning to outsmart them rather than relying on rapid reflexes. With 20 unique characters, each with distinct strengths and weaknesses, the game demands strategic thinking and adaptability. In a landscape of repetitive clones, Gain Ground stands as a testament to innovative and timeless gameplay. Captain Fizz on the Amiga offers a unique cooperative two-player gaming experience, where teamwork is key to solving puzzles. The plot may seem familiar, involving a starship in peril, but the twist lies in the need for players to collaborate in deactivating the main computer, navigating the ship's decks with color-coded cards, overcoming force fields, and battling aliens together adds to the challenge. The game's split-screen format, although limiting graphics and sometimes causing confusion, enhances the cooperative aspect. While initial impressions might be mixed due to graphics and sound, the need for teamwork and problem solving can make Captain Fizz an engaging two-player adventure. Druid 2 on the Amiga, a port of the classic action game, brings a dose of nostalgia to the Amiga with its gauntlet-style camera view. Druid 2 encourages you to navigate mazes, collect items, and unleash magical firepower. The game impressively showcases enhanced graphics for the Amiga and captures the simplicity of games from the mid-80s. A second player can control the golem to assist player 1. With catchy title music and solid gameplay, Druid 2 provides a nostalgic journey worth taking, and it's a reminder of the era when games like this thrived on systems like the CPC, C64, and the Spectrum. So those are the co-op games of 1988. What games did we miss? And if you enjoyed this video, watch our video from last week where we talked about the co-op games of 1987. Thank you for watching.